And here we are now, no delay, straight into fight number 8 and making the walk for the first time here in his MMA career. In the blue corner, the man from Tribal MMA, Jimo Rangi.
That's right, mate. So he's making his debut. Got a great coach in his corner with Paul Birch. Notable fighters with Connor Birch fighting up later on. But what he wants to do is win an XFC title. So he's not just here to play around. Got a mixture of boxing and jiu-jitsu. He's been improving his wrestling, trying to make sure he gets that part aspect and going. He's a blue belt from BJJ. And, mate, as he said for his fight camp, he's blessed with the best. And he's lucky to be training with such good people. So you expect him to be ready for this fight.
And speaking of good people and XFC titles, of course, in the corner for him tonight, along with Paul Birch and Gus Bomba, we do have the former XFC super lightweight champion, Mr. Lionheart himself, Michael Tapau. So a star-studded corner lineup here for Jimo Rangi in his MMA debut. And, of course, the heavyweights, always fan favourites. I don't think we're going to be needing the judges' scorecards for these.
No, mate, and Jimo saying the same thing. He's basically saying his hand's getting raised, and if you can tell by the crowd support, they just went off. Welcome to the Mansfield. And here we are with a packed house in Mansfield Tavern. Got a huge response for Jimo Rangi. And now our next opponent is walking out.
And here we have Kevin Sheridan, fresh off a win over Tala Heliso at XFC 41. Took home the unanimous decision victory and making the walk for the second time here tonight, putting that up 1-0 record on the line. Of course, training out of Customized Fitness Solutions and really, really ready to go as we see the man in the red corner, Kevin Sheridan, with some last-minute instructions from his coach.
I'm loving this style of matchup. So Kevin Sheridan comes with a kickboxing and Muay Thai background. So interesting to see how that goes up against Jimo Rangi with boxing and jiu-jitsu. It'll be interesting to see who utilizes their skill set best. But this one will not be going the whole way. I call an early stoppage. Both these gentlemen want to make sure they get the KO.
So, ladies and gentlemen, fight number 8 this evening is an amateur heavyweight bout contested over 3 3-minute rounds. And introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he weighed in at 109.1 kilos and trains out of Tribal MMA. Tonight, he makes his MMA debut. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Jimo Rangi. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he weighed in at 109.1 kilos and trains out of Customized Fitness Solutions, holding an undefeated MMA record of 1 win and 0 defeats. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kevin Sheridan. And when the action begins, your referee in charge, Peter Hickmott.
All right, these guys stepping over, looking at each other, going on it. So important to point out that Kevin Sheridan had a decision win, so he's certainly been in the cage before. Here we go. Let's see if they have a feeling out period or just jump straight into it.
And nice and slick with the jab there. We see Jimo Rangi diving under for the double leg. And glad that XFC cage is reinforced because there's about 220 kilos just rammed into the side of it.
Nice pressure up against the cage.
So we're seeing Kevin Sheridan here doing his best to try and pop the hips out. We'd like to see him maybe dig for an underhook, but opts for some knees to the body, and right on cue there is the left underhook from Kevin Sheridan, and that's going to give him the opportunity to create a bit of space, but
almost got the reversal.
Nice little trip on the way down there from Jimo Rangi.
And it looks like Jimo's trying to almost move into a mount. He's got one over already. It depends, see how Kevin goes if he puts his knee out. But he's currently in a half guard position. And that's just pure strength. That's I'm getting up no matter what.
Yes, in the heavyweight division, you can see those types of get-ups. 109.1 kilos. Both these boys hit the scale yesterday at the same weight. And there is a lot of fighter in the cage right now, that's for sure.
Nice little sneaky knees in there as well while he's got the overhook. Bit of pressure. Jimo seems to be getting the cage pressure done really well. Nice reversal, starting to throw a few little overhand dirty boxing.
Yeah, some nice tight shots in the clinch there from Kevin Sheridan. And up against the fence we go again here. So some nice control up against the fence shown here from Jimo Rangi.
And they're trading knees as well. That was a nice little knee. It's the third one in a row, fourth. Here we go. Looks like Kevin Sheridan's starting to work out what he wants to do in that area. And a beautiful little guard block from Jimo, stopping those knees coming through. Reverses Kevin up against the cage again.
Yeah, so I'd like to see Jimo Rangi just try and close a bit of the space between the two's hips up against the cage here. Obviously that space is giving Kevin Sheridan the opportunity to fire some of those knees away. So let's see if Jimo Rangi can either look to change levels or try and just glue his hips to Kevin's.
Yeah, and a good call out for Kevin here. Kevin's got the overhook on the right arm, and that's stopping Jimo from changing levels and getting both his hands together.
So threatens with the guillotine momentarily. Again there did Kevin Sheridan. And Jimo Rangi here on debut at XFC 43.
And he almost had a body lock. He's let go of it now. Starting to throw the knees in there.
So very busy night for the Tribal MMA team. I believe they have 4 fighters on the card here tonight at XFC 43. And some nice knees to the body. One of those looked like it actually caused a bit of discomfort there for Jimo Rangi. Got to be careful the knees to the head here, but look at that, Jimo all over it as we hear the buzzer for round number 1.
Yeah, great pressure, great cage pressure from Jimo. I'm pretty sure he's going to get some great commentary from Paul Birch and just asking him to do something different up against the cage, either in terms of strikes or changing levels and getting his hands around him to go for the takedown.
Yes, very interesting round, that last one there, Craig. Positionally dominated quite clearly by Jimo Rangi, but Kevin Sheridan probably did land the more effective strikes. Yeah. So we'll leave that one up to our judges and see exactly where they fall on that one if we need them at the end of the third and final round.
Yeah, that's correct. Kevin's worked out how to throw the knees while he's up against the cage. So even though the cage pressure is sitting there with Jimo, Kevin's doing some damage with those knees going into the body. As you mentioned, almost crippled him, dropped his level. So it's interesting to see what they do and what changes they make coming into the second round.
So the Bull, Peter Hickmont, clearing out the cage here. Great to have one of the best referees in the world here joining us in the Mansfield Tavern. Had a good chat to Peter Hickmont prior to the fights tonight, and he told me he's off to South Korea for the UFC event in December. So we wish Pete all the luck in the world doing what he does best over there in South Korea. So out for round 2 here, and some heavy leather exchanged on both sides.
Yep, keeping some jabs on each other. Just keeping that distance, and Kevin's starting to walk Jimo down. And almost tried for the reversal, but Jimo was able to keep the cage pressure up. And as you can see, Jimo's actually keeping his hips, was keeping his hips a little bit closer.
Oh, big knee landed,
knee.
And it is all over, ladies and gentlemen. The second round knockout, and there is a lot of blood coming from the nose of Jimo Rangi. It actually looks like we've got some on our screen here as we see the replay. Big knee to the body here from Kevin Sheridan, and tell you what, just some beautiful defensive clinch work here. Jimo Rangi.
This one here it is here. So Jimo actually had his head and put, as you can see, Kevin was pushing his arm, his right hand down and linked him into the right knee.
Incredible performance there from Kevin Sheridan, and we hope Jimo Rangi is okay. It is, of course, the nature of this sport. It is a dangerous game, but both these fighters looking very sharp here at XFC 43.
Kevin coming in with his second win.
So ladies and gentlemen, our referee has called a stop to this contest at 35 seconds of round number 2. Declaring your winner by TKO in the red corner, Kevin Sheridan. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with our winner, Kevin Sheridan, getting the second round TKO stoppage here tonight. Kevin, give me your thoughts on what was a very entertaining fight.
I knew I had to come up and take care of business, so that's what I've done. That's it.
Well, you certainly took care of business, my friend. Of course, that now moves you to 2-0 as an amateur in this division. What can we expect next from you?
We'll see what happens next year, but ready to take on anyone, hurt anyone that gets in my way.
Well, I'm very excited to see what's next. Of course, I'm sure you've got a lot of people you'd like to thank.
Yeah, definitely the gym down at CFS, all my teammates down there. Big training camp for this one, so came out hard and got the job done.
Well, congratulations on another phenomenal performance. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Kevin Sheridan.